All right, guys, we are live. As you all know, last night the New Orleans Saints pick up a 2-point victory over the Arizona Cardinals in almost the same fashion that they did last year against the Chiefs, where they beat the Cardinals 16-14. They're 1-0 in the preseason. Cardinals are 1 in the preseason. It's just preseason. I'm just keeping records, just keep myself occupied, I guess. Spencer Rattler was the best quarterback last night as he was 9 for 17 for 70 yards, and he also on the ground, he had 2 carries for 8 yards, 4 yards a carry, and a touchdown. So Spencer Rattler did it all, man. Rattler, I think this man is the future QB of the Saints, man. It's going to be him or Hainer. I wouldn't draft anybody next year. Look, Jake Hainer, last year in the preseason, disappointed me. This year in the preseason, I think he was honestly the best quarterback out of the bunch. Because Jake Hainer, he threw 9 for 13, 107 yards. And yeah, he also had 1 carry for 3 yards, 3 yards carry. And I believe that helped us pick up his first down. So yeah, Jake Hainer, there was one play before halftime where that man took a snap and that man heaved a Hail Mary to A.T. Perry, and he connected, which put us in the field goal range for an easy field goal going into halftime. So without that play, I don't know if we win this game, man. So shout out to you, Jake Hainer, and shout out to you, Spencer Rattler, man. Derek Carr, though, 2 for 6 for 12 yards. That's not what I wanted to see. That's not what I wanted to see. It's just preseason. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. But, bro, if you're not good in week 1, I'm going to be on your head. Running the ball, Jordan Mims played pretty good for being Jordan Mims, as he had 10 carries for 38 yards, 3.8 yards a carry, and I know 38 yards is not much. But Jordan Mims, look, he was not playing the entire game. If he was, he could have had like maybe 60 or 70 rushing yards. That man was running with power, with fight. Like he didn't want to go home. Like Jordan Mims was fighting out there. James Robinson, 7 for 27, 3.9 a carry. That man was fighting out there. Jamal Williams, though, 6 for 20, 3.3 yards a carry. This man sucks. Okay? I'm done with Jamal Williams. I'm done with him. And I'm on the brink of being done with Derek Carr. Yeah, Alvin Kamara, he had 2 for 3, 1.5 yards a carry. He didn't really play that much, though. And then Jacob Kabadi, he got like a run at the end of the game where he had 1 carry for 2 yards, 2 yards carry. So, receiving-wise, A.T. Perry proved to you why training camp don't mean nothing. A.T. Perry said, I'm the number 3 receiver. And he was. Was he not? A.T. Perry, 4 receptions, 85 yards, 21.2 yards a catch, man. A.T. Perry was that guy. And like I said, he caught that amazing Hail Mary at the end of the half, which put us in the field goal range. Beautiful ball by Jake Hainer. Dalen Holker, he had a pretty good day. 3 for 24, 8 yards a catch. He had a pretty good day, man. He was good in the run blocking game. He was pretty freaking good catching the ball. He almost had a touchdown. And then Samson Nakua, who's also the brother of Puka Nakua, who's all pro from the Rams. You get the gist. Samson Nakua, 2 for 19, 9.5 yards catch. That's pretty good for being Samson Nakua. I'm not gonna lie, I don't even know. I still don't know who this is. Like, I know who he is, but I didn't see him on the field. So I don't even know his name. Stanley Morgan Jr., 1 reception, 13 yards, 13 yards catch. I mean, that's okay. Like, Stanley Morgan wasn't really active in the passing game. Chris Olave, he had 1 catch for 10 yards, 10 yards a catch. He could have had 2 catches for a touchdown. Yeah, he could have had 2 catches and one of them being for a touchdown. Nope. James Robinson, 1 for 9. Jordan Mims, 2 for 8. Kevin Austin, 1 for 6. Michael Jacobson, 1 for 4. Jamal Williams, 1 for 2. He can't even shake off linebackers. And Cedric Wilson just had 1 for 1. Defense, which was amazing all night last night. Monty Rice, 7 tackles. Pretty good. I think he's underrated. Willie Gay Jr. had 3 tackles and 2 assists. Not a bad day for him. Roger Teamer had 3 tackles. Mac McCain the third, 3 tackles. Kool-Aid McKinstry had 3 tackles, but he also had the first breakup of the game. Anthony Orey had 2 tackles and 1 assist. Rajon Wright had 2 tackles and 2 assists. Jalen Ford, 2 tackles. DeMarco Jackson, 2 tackles, 1 assist. Cleveland Hudson played pretty solid last night, getting 1 tackle, 3 assists, and half a sack. Jordan Howden, 1 tackle. Brian Brees, 1 tackle, 1 assist, 1 sack. He could have had 2 sacks, but Desmond Ridder broke one of his sacks. Carl Granderson, 1 tackle, 1 assist, and half a sack. Rico Payton, 1 tackle, 1 assist. This man, 3 pass breakups last night. One of them, he kind of got bailed out because he broke it up at the last second after the receiver already dropped the ball. But apparently, if you have the last name Payton and you play for the Saints or you coach the Saints, you're gonna have a good career. Yeah, Peyton Turner, 1 tackle, 1 assist. Nico Lalos had 1 tackle, 1 sack. Not a bad day for him. Nook Bradford had 1 tackle. Mike Rose, 1 tackle. Lawrence Johnson, 1 tackle. Chase Young, he was getting after the quarterback. I will give him that. He had 1 tackle. William Harris, don't know who you even are, as he had 1 tackle. Jonathan Abram, 1 tackle. JT Gray, 1 tackle. Nathan Shepard had 2 assists and half a sack. All right, Jack Heflin had 1 assist and half a sack. Alontae Taylor, 1 assist. Kendall Vickers had 1 assist. And then Christian Boyd had 1 assist. Kick returns, Jordan Mims, 2 for 52. James Robinson, 1 for 29. Punt returns, you got Cedric Wilson Jr. getting 2 for 24. Kicking the ball wise, Blake Grupe was 2 for 2, 100%, as long as it was a 33-yarder, and he scored 7 points. That's good for Grupe. Hopefully he can do that in the regular season. Charlie Smythe, 1 for 1, 100%. 37 was his longest and had 3 points. And also, those 3 points was the game-winning field goal. Punting the ball, Lou Headley, 4 for 187, 3 inside the 20. And Matt Hayball had 3 for 159. And this game was played in the University of Phoenix Stadium. I didn't even know it was called that. Cardinals. Clayton Tune. There was no Kyler Murray last night, but Clayton Tune, 15 for 24, 163 yards, and 1 touchdown. Yeah, he was playing pretty good last night against us. Desmond Ridder, 4 for 9, 43 yards. We were making him our you-know-what. He had a chance at his last drive in the first half. He had a chance to get a touchdown on 4th and 2, but missed the receiver completely. That brought some good memories. And also, let's see. Clayton Tune also was 2 for 9 on the ground. And also Desmond Ridder was 5 for 39 on the ground because that man shook most of our linebackers and defensive players. Running the ball, Michael Carter had a good day against us as he was 7 for 41 and a touchdown. Trey Benson, solid game for him, 8 for 21. DJ Dallas, 3 for 21. He had some explosive runs. Tony Jones Jr., former Saint, 5 for 11. And then Xavier Weaver had 1 for 3. All right, Flamey says A.T. Perry deserves a roster spot. Hey, I've been saying it since last year. Since we drafted him, I said this kid was going to be a stud. And then training camp came this past year, and it was like, oh, A.T. Perry will even make the team. And I was like, damn right he's making this team. I've been saying it for years. Training camp don't mean nothing. Every single time somebody that does good in training camp does nothing in the season. Does bad in training camp, does everything in the season. For example, Mason Tipton. That man didn't even record a catch. And that man's the training camp MVP. You got guys like A.T. Perry who had like one good day in training camp and literally led our team in receiving. So yeah, and plus he caught a big Hail Mary at the end of the half, which gave us a field goal before halftime. So look, man, I've been saying it for the last 2 years, man. A.T. Perry will be a stud, and he definitely deserves a roster spot. And I don't think there is any world where he is on another team come September. Yeah, like I said, it's facts. Like there's no world that A.T. Perry will be in a different uniform come September. I'll tell you that right now. So yeah, man. But yeah, the Cardinals receiving, man, like they have Dan Chisena. He was balling against us, I'll tell you that. 5 for 63. He was playing solid. Andre Bacella, 2 for 27. Tony Jones Jr. also 3 for 24 and a touchdown through the air, which gave the Cardinals the lead before Spencer Rattler freaking slithered. Get it? Okay. Slithered his way all the way across the field and gave Charlie Smythe the game-winning field goal. Man, that drive was probably the best preseason drive ending that I've ever seen the Saints ever do. Yeah. Like, I know last year we had something like that against the Chiefs, but we were already set up for success. Yeah. That drive from Rattler was amazing. Yes, it was. Like, I know we had something similar with Kansas City last year, but we didn't have to drive down the field because they threw an interception and we were already field range. So that was really a drive. That was like, okay, we already won the game at that point. But yeah, Rattler, man, like that man was calm. Like that man. One thing I didn't like about when we drafted Ian Book is that he always, like, if the game was out of his hands, he would always try to play hero ball. Okay, and that's not what Rattler does. He doesn't try to play hero ball. He's like a game manager where he manages the game. He does not throw risky balls. I love James Winston, but one thing I have to say, that man was a risky player. It was either it's going to work or it doesn't. That's what I kind of like about Rattler, man. He's not that type of guy. All respect to James, he's not that type of guy. He's like, okay, what's going to help my team? Not what's going to help me win and my stats. What's going to help my team? He could have probably just risked it deep. He could have probably threw a 30-yard pass on the first play of the drive, but no, he took it safe. We still had time. We still had all of our timeouts, and Rattler showed you why he's our future QB1. Maybe not this year, but he is our future QB1. I'm telling you that right now. Yeah, Blake Whiteheart, don't know who you are, but 2 for 22. Okay, Zach Pascal, he had a good catch on the sideline, 1 for 22. Chris Moore, 1 for 14. Tejon Palmer, 1 for 13. Xavier Weaver, 2 for 12. Travis, let's see. Defense, definitely going to be QB1 in a year or two. Yeah, man, he's going to be QB1 in a year or two. And the good thing about it is he was a 5th-round pick. So we build it. So this is basically like what the 49ers did with drafting Brock Purdy. If we can build a successful team around Spencer freaking Rattler, we're not even paying him that much. We still got 4 years. We still got 4 years of good football in Rattler, and we don't even have to pay him that much. We don't even got to pay him that much, man. Like Chris Olave, he was drafted in 22. He's going into year 3, so we're going to have to pay him in a year or two. But Rattler, we don't have to pay, at least immediately. Yeah, man. And then also some dude named Bernhard Skovic, 1 for 1. Yeah, plus Rattler was supposed to be a Heisman #1 pick a few years ago until he had a bad season, which doesn't really mean it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. You know what I find funny? So people that have bad seasons in college, they always turn out good. But people that have good seasons in college, not all the time, but sometimes do bad. Like Jamarcus Russell had, arguably, some people say that one of the best college football games of all time. And that means a buzz. But Jaden Daniels, for example, that man at Arizona State looked like he was going to freaking just, if he even gets drafted, looked like he was going to be like a backup for the rest of his life. And that man, so far in Washington, done pretty well. But yeah, like that comment, like he was supposed to be a Heisman, but people were saying he got cocky or whatever. I don't think that was it. I think it was just that Caleb Williams just wanted it more. You know what I'm saying? Justin Jefferson wasn't a very good college player, and look at him now. Well, he wasn't a very good high school player. In college, I mean, he was part of that LSU trio. I'm not going to say he wasn't a very good college player because he was dominant in college too. I think he just wasn't because he was I think a 2 or 3 star recruit going into LSU, and he played good there. So like that's kind of true. Like he had to make a name for himself. Even in the because he got drafted late, so he had to make a name for himself. Yeah. I mean, he was good, but he wasn't like a top 5 pick. Yeah, he wasn't a top 5 pick. He wasn't top 5 pick. I think he was number 22. And the reason people know he's number 22 is because Jalen Reagor was picked 1 pick ahead of him, and I don't even think he lasted 3 years with the Eagles. So I mean, yeah, like in that 2020 draft was loaded, man. But yeah, man, like Jefferson, man, that kid ain't even a kid no more. Now he's teaching people to play his game, man. Let's see the Cardinals defense. Marcus Bailey, 3 tackles, 1 assist. You got Trevor Nowaski, 3 tackles. Dejon Taylor, 3 tackles, 1 assist. Saints' best cornerback core in a few years. I mean, it's kind of hard to predict that. But I say I don't know what state Lattimore will be in, and I'm not saying move to a different state. I'm saying I don't know how healthy he'll be. But I'm saying if Kool-Aid McKinstry progresses the way we think he will, if Paulson Adebo keeps on going on this high trajectory, if Alontae Taylor keeps building up into that player that he was his rookie year, and let's say Lattimore is still good, maybe not top 5 anymore, but it's still around the top 15, top 10 area, I'm all for it. I think the Saints could have the best cornerback core in a few years. So you can make an argument that we have the best cornerback core right now. So, yeah, I mean, it's either us or Miami, in my opinion. Yeah, man. Darren Hall, 3 tackles, 1 assist. Dante Stills had 3 tackles. Owen Pape, 2 tackles, 1 assist. Xavier Thomas, 2 tackles, 1 assist. And also a sack. Devod Wilson, 2 tackles, 1 assist. Andre Shire, 2 tackles, 1 assist. Naquan Jones had 2 tackles. Yeah, we could maybe have the best cornerback core if Lattimore keeps being a top 10 and if Kool-Aid progresses. That's what I'm saying, man. Look, Kool-Aid McKinstry, he played well last night. He was even in, I believe, in the third quarter as well. So, Kool-Aid, he has some potential. And I was saying it. Kool-Aid McKinstry is the best cornerback in college in the NFL draft. He was the best corner in the NFL draft, and trust me, you know why? Because he played in the SEC. He was dominant against SEC receivers. Cooper DeJean, respect to him. He was in the Big Ten. He was in Iowa. Terrion Arnold, who also played at Bama. I literally know Alabama fans who were saying Kool-Aid was the best corner. He was better than Arnold. Yeah, he was definitely the best cornerback last year, 100%, man. He was. Who else was in the race? Terrion Arnold, Quinion Mitchell. That man played for freaking Toledo. I don't even know what conference Toledo's in, but I know it ain't the SEC. There's a reason why Bama made the playoffs. When their offense was struggling. And look, this is coming from an Alabama hater. I do not like Bama. But I can admit, Kool-Aid McKinstry was the best cornerback in college football last year. That man was shutting down Georgia's best receivers, shutting down LSU's best receivers. Even in that Michigan game, he was giving Michigan a fight. He was shutting down multiple receivers, man. And that's what I love about Kool-Aid, man. Even when they lost to Texas, he was still playing pretty well. So, yeah, man, even before last year, he was still playing pretty well. So, look, Kool-Aid McKinstry is the best cornerback he's the best rookie corner. I don't even know how I said Kool-Aid wasn't even going to make it to the Saints. Yeah, even in that Michigan game, yeah, when they lost, they didn't lose to Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid played his ass off. Man, look, and I was happy Michigan won that game, but, man, Kool-Aid was a dog, man. He was a dog, and this is coming from an LSU fan. Kool-Aid McKinstry he's a ball hawk. He's versatile. He's a hybrid corner. He can do it all. I can't name one flaw in Kool-Aid's game, especially since you go to a cornerback room with Lattimore, Adebo, and Taylor already there. You are set up for success. He's not even going to be guarding the number 1 receivers. He's not even going to be guarding the number 1 receivers. So he doesn't even have to work that much. Lattimore's going to take that duty. He might not even be guarding the number 2 receivers. So, like, Kool-Aid, man. What's up, Jerry? Right now we're talking about some Kool-Aid McKinstry right now. Yeah, man. So, look, Kool-Aid, he is literally the best rookie corner this year. He is the best. I want to hear it. I want to hear that Cooper DeJean's better. Look, respect to Cooper DeJean. I think he's a good player. But he ain't better than Kool-Aid. He played in the Big Ten. Kool-Aid played against the Monstars. Played against Thanos. Man, look, Kool-Aid was clampers all year last year with Alabama. And this is coming from an Alabama hater. Kool-Aid was playing good. Kool-Aid locked LSU down. He locked us down. He locked down Georgia. There's a reason why Alabama made it to the playoffs. No, it's not because of sorry Jalen Milroe. It's not because of him. It's not because of Jermaine Byrne. It was because of Kool-Aid McKinstry and the rest of that Bama defense. Bama had the best defense in the country last year, and that was mostly because of Kool-Aid. Willie Gay is also looking really good. Yeah, like I one thing I will say about Willie Gay, what I didn't like about him is that he kept flinching at the line. Like, it wasn't nothing bad where it drew a penalty, but I'm like, if he was playing a guy like Patrick Mahomes, he would have been offsides because he would have got the hard count. Like, I was looking at Willie Gay, he kept, like, flinching, and I'm like, oh, please don't go offsides. Thankfully, he didn't. But I will say that he just has to be ready, which he kind of was yesterday. Anyways, back to this real quick, and y'all can still leave comments in the chat, and I'll read them after I name the player's stats. Jaden Davis, 2 tackles. Wish we could have seen more Chase Young, though. Didn't he get injured? I mean, he didn't get injured. But, yeah, like, Chase Young, he was still playing Chase Young, he was still playing pretty well. You know, he kept getting to the quarterback. But, yeah, never mind. All right. But, yeah, like, Chase Young, I still have high hopes for him. But, yeah, man. Roy Lopez, 1 tackle, 2 assists. Joey Blunt, 1 tackle, 1 assist. Michael Ajamuda, 1 tackle, 1 assist. All right, Tyreek Maddox-Williams had 1 tackle, 1 assist. Chris Barnes, 1 tackle, 1 assist. Keitrell Clark, 1 tackle, 1 assist. Darius Robinson, the Cardinals' first-round pick, had 1 tackle. Cameron Thomas, 1 tackle. Bobby Price, 1 tackle. Jesse Luketa, 1 tackle. Miles Murphy, 1 tackle. Didn't he play for the Bengals? Did he get drafted by Cincinnati? Or is that a different Miles Murphy? I could have swore he got drafted to the Bengals. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. Verone McKinley III, 4 assists. Chris Tonga had 2 assists. All right, and Ben Still, 1 assist. But yeah, man, anyways, let's go on to the kick return game because special teams is a valuable position in football. DJ Dallas, 1 for 30. Xavier Weaver, 1 for 28. And Tony Jones Jr., former Saint, 1 for 22. Punt returns, DJ Dallas, 3 for 20. Xavier Weaver, 2 for 34. Matt Prater scored 2 points. And Blake Gillikin, former Saints punter, 5 punts, 221, 1 inside the 20. All right, that's all the stats for the players. Now let's go through team stats. The Saints, in their first preseason game, 286 total yards, 185 passing yards, 101 rushing yards. I want that number to go up, especially since we're raving over Clint Kubiak's running play style. I want that number to go up because I was not seeing improvement in the run game last night. Well, with Jamal Williams, people were saying how Jamal Williams, I didn't see it. He still looked like the same Jamal Williams that had to fight for a yard. 4.3 yards per play. Saints picked up 17 first downs, 5 for 15 on third downs, 2 for 2 on fourth downs, 66 total plays, 1 sack allowed, which is pretty good for our offensive line, except never mind. Did I see this right? Yeah, 1 sack allowed. The offensive line was playing pretty well, except they kept getting penalties over and over and over. Offensive line, you played well, except for false starts and holdings. Don't do that this season, please, because if you don't allow sacks, the offensive line will basically sack us anyway. I hope Kamara gets good plays next year instead of those stupid plays Carmichael had him running. Man, look, man. Yeah, man. Carmichael, I don't know what that man was on. That man, his favorite play was inside zone. You think this is Madden, where inside zone is a guaranteed 5-10 yards every time. No. But yeah, the Saints had 7 punts. I would like to see that number go down. The Cardinals spun the ball 5 times. So the Saints have a Super Bowl caliber defense. The offense isn't. Saints had 9 penalties for 63 yards, and most of them was because of that O-line. We had the ball like inside the 10-yard line, maybe even at the 4-yard line on a 1st and goal. That drive ended at Arizona's 18-yard line. That's not because of the offense. That's because of the O-line. But yeah, James Robinson did have a fumble. However, did go out of bounds. I don't know if they ruled him down or not, but I did know he did lose the ball eventually. And also, Dalen Holker fumbled the ball, but he was definitely down. A.T. Perry still fell on it. Yeah, LOL. Saints have an amazing defense. Offenses. I don't know what this offense is. I don't know about Derek Carr anymore. Look, I like you, Carr. Like I want you to be successful. Look, because if Derek Carr's successful, that means the Saints are successful. But one thing I'm not going to be, and you will never hear me be, I'm not going to be delusional. Rattler look clutch at least. Yeah, that's why I'm excited for Rattler. Look, people think that if you're a fan of a team, that means you have to be delusional. That's not what you have to be. If my team's trash, I'm going to tell you it's trash. But if my team's good, I'm telling you, hey, I'm confident. That's what I'm saying. Derek Carr was trash last night. He had a play for Chris Olave for an easy touchdown. The man overthrew him. And that ain't the first time I've seen Derek Carr do that. And I don't want to hear it's just preseason. Bruh. Is it football or not? You were playing against the Arizona Cardinals. I didn't even care if we won this game. I wanted to see, okay, if the starters go out, what's the score going to be? When the starters went out, the score was 0-0 in the 1st quarter. Maybe 2nd quarter. So, no. But yeah, the Saints, they didn't turn the ball over, which was good. You know, the Saints had the ball for 28 minutes and 51 seconds. Cardinals had the ball for 31 minutes and 9 seconds. So yeah, man, like. But now let's get into some studs and duds from last night. From last night's 16-14 win at the Arizona Cardinals. Let's go through studs and duds. And there was lots of studs, but there was also lots of duds. So studs and duds. Yeah, those are what I'd be looking for preseason. Let's start. Louise mentioned him earlier. Stud is A.T. Perry. Come on, how is this man not a stud? People were saying, oh, get rid of him. This man ain't going to be nothing. This man ain't going to be nothing. Man, we should have kept Shaq Davis last year over A.T. Perry. Man, dude, this man, if we look at A.T. Perry's numbers. All right, hold on. Let me, hold on. If we look at A.T. Perry's numbers, he was 4 for 85. 4 for 85. 4 receptions, 85 yards. And that was in a preseason game. Like, it'll be one thing if it's like 13 for 85, like Alvin Kamara last year. He had like 13 for 33. No, this man caught 4 passes for 85 yards, and one of them was a Hail Mary before halftime. A.T. Perry is the definition of a stud last night. A.T. Perry, definitely a stud, man. Like, that man was balling last night. That man didn't care who was guarding him. I don't care who it is. A.T. Perry, if you threw that man the ball, he's going to get it. And he proved last night why training camp doesn't mean anything. Y'all guzzle the Kool-Aid, no pun intended, on training camp, saying if you play good in training camp, you're going to play good in the season. Mason Tipton didn't even record a catch last night. Yeah, man, this is going to be his breakout year. Honestly, I won't be surprised if he's our number 2 well, number 2 in stats wise for being our receiver. I actually think he's gonna be our number 2 receiver. I think Shaheed will be in the slot. But yeah, that's A.T. Perry. But now we gotta talk about a dud, and yeah, we gotta talk about a dud, and this is the offensive line depth, like I was mentioning earlier. This is a dud, not because of their performance, but because the depth on the offensive line ain't nothing. Because every single time, mostly our backup guys, every single time, it feels like it's a penalty. Every time something goes our way, it's a holding or a false start. Dude, we cannot be having that. That is a definite dud. We cannot be having our offensive line keep penalizing. They only allowed 1 sack, but they were basically allowing sacks and penalties. Like, we had 9 penalties. I think like 7 of them was because of the O-line itself. I don't know what to say, man. The offensive line, it needs to step up. We waived Mark Evans. I don't think that was the right move. Like, I don't know. But now we got to talk about another stud, man. Spencer freaking Rattler. Yeah, 9 penalties is horrible. Yeah, that's horrible, especially for a preseason game. I know it's the first game in 7 months, but you still cannot be doing that. And that proves our training camp ain't nothing because they. Oh, but let's talk about stud, man. Spencer Rattler. Spencer freaking Rattler. The man came in the start of the second half, down 7-6. I know that's not a large deficit, but let's talk about this one play in particular. It's 3rd and goal for the Saints. Okay? The worst case scenario is that we maybe get a field goal here. The man sees nobody's open, so he's running with the ball. Something that Derek Carr can't do, by the way. He's running with the ball. The man freaking trucks the dude and reaches across for a touchdown. At first, he was short, but then they reviewed. But then Dennis Allen finally is improving as a coach from what I saw. Throws the challenge flag, and it's a touchdown. Saints take the lead. And then a few drives stall out, but then the Saints are down by 1 point at the end of the game. Spencer Rattler, like a minute and 50-some seconds, goes down the field, all timeouts, plays flawlessly, doesn't turn the ball over once the entire game, leads us down the field. Charlie Smythe, easy chip shot field goal, game over, man. Spencer Rattler was a 1,000 billion trillion gazillion % a stud. There's a couple plays where he could have played better, but overall, from a 5th-round pick, projected to be a 1st-round pick, number 1 overall, Heisman Trophy winner. Oh, yeah, man. This dude is the definition of a stud. Like, now we got to talk about another dud. Jamal freaking Williams. Here says the run game, and now I'm talking about Jamal Williams. The run game was good, other than Jamal Williams. And I don't want to hear the offensive line excuse, because there's no reason Jordan Mims has room every time. There's no reason that freaking, what's his name? What's this man's name? I don't know. There's James Robinson. There's no reason he has room every time. But Jamal Williams can't shake off no linebackers, can't shake off no defensive linemen. The only reason he scored 17 touchdowns that 1 year is because the Lions knew how to use him inside the red zone. Maybe that's the same thing. Maybe that's a Jamal Williams thing. I don't know. But he's definitely a dud for me. It's definitely a dud. But now we got to talk about another stud, Willie Gay. Willie Gay Jr., the free agent the Saints signed from the Kansas City Chiefs, Super Bowl experience, and that man did not disappoint. Like, he had 3 tackles, 2 assists, and a TFL, which is huge if you want to win football games. You know, like, yeah, Willie Gay was a really good pickup, man. Like, the Saints, look, Willie Gay, the only thing I didn't like is that he kept flinching. Okay, just don't do that, because in the regular season, that might draw you off sides. But other than that, that man played a flawless game. I don't think that man had 1 penalty on defense. That man was the anchor of our defense. Like, DeMario Davis, I don't know how much he played. I don't know if he played at all. But he was what DeMario Davis has been all his career with the Saints. He was that last night. Willie Gay was the anchor of our defense. Getting pressure on Desmond Ridder. Making Clayton Tune, like Clayton Tune had a good game last night, but he was making Clayton Tune scramble. So Willie Gay Jr. is the definition of a dud. I mean, not my fault. A stud last night. All right. Purple Marcus said Peyton looked like Lil Lattimore. That's what I'm saying, man. Like Rico Payton. Apparently, if you have the last name Payton and you coach or play for the Saints, you're gonna have a good. You're gonna be good. Like Rico Payton had 3 pass breakups last night. I didn't even know who this dude was. But that man's like, oh no, you're gonna hear about me. You're gonna hear about me, and I'm like, okay, shut me up then. Football is the only thing I ever want to be shut up in, if you know what I'm saying. But now we gotta talk about another dud, and that's freaking Derek Carr. Derek Carr, you're on your last leg. Your last leg. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt because it's preseason. But if you perform in the regular season like you did last night, oh no, we ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere but a top 10 pick. Yeah, bro just spawned in. I didn't know who he was. I know we had a Payton on the team. I didn't know he was that damn good. But it was against backup, so I guess we can just pump the brakes a little bit. But I don't know. But yeah, Derek Carr, man, that man had a beautiful Chris Olave ran a perfect route, a chance at a touchdown, and this man overthrows the ball. 2 for 6. Derek Carr, step up. I'm not playing. Step up. I'm not going to have you be like, well, I didn't throw a pick. Man, I don't care about that pick. You also didn't throw a touchdown. But you could have if you hit Olave in the numbers. Anyways, yeah, Carl was getting pressure easy. Yeah. Definitely, man. Anyways, let's talk about some more. All right, I got a couple more. I got like 2 more studs and 1 more dud, which is good because there's more studs on this list than duds. All right, let's talk about a stud. Charlie Smythe. I'm not trying to overreact or nothing, but I think Charlie Smythe deserves the kicker job over Blake Groupie. Not a lot of people are talking about Charlie Smythe. Just don't Blake Groupie me. Jake Haener looked mid. I don't think he looked mid. I think Jake Haener was actually the best quarterback last night other than Rattler. Jake Haener did not look mid, in my opinion. He was going up the field with ease. He could have. He was going to throw a touchdown, but then the offensive line decided that they're going to commit penalties and stuff. Jake Haener, I mean, he looked solid in my opinion. It wasn't for AT period. No, even before the AT period catch, Jake Haener was still looking pretty solid. I'm not going to say he was mid. You know, you can have your opinion, but you can have your opinion. I'm not gonna say he was mid. Jake Haener was actually pretty solid last night. But yeah, Charlie Smythe was definitely a stud. 33-yard attempt, game winner in the preseason. So, especially it was not in New Orleans. I know it's just preseason, but look, I love that Charlie Smythe was able to do that. Man, that just gives me signs. So did Blake Groupie last year. So I'm trying to know. But now let's talk about a dud. Stanley Morgan Jr., free agent from the Cincinnati Bengals. Come on, Stanley Morgan Jr. Come on, man. I know you're going to play mostly special teams, so come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Work. You had 1 catch for 13 yards. And you played most of the second half. Come on, Stanley Morgan Jr. Come on. And 1 more stud. Here says Samson Nakua. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to switch it up. Stud for me is Chris Olave. Yeah, he only had a catch for 10 yards. But if it wasn't for a Derek Carr overthrow, that man would have had a touchdown last night. He's already starting off good, man. He had an amazing catch on the sideline. Could have had 2 or 3. But, man, the same freaking – they balled their asses off. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, Chris. Anyways, yeah, so those are my studs and duds of the Saints 16-14 win over the Arizona Cardinals. Let's see if there's anything else I want to go over before we get out of here. Whoo! All right, right now I'm loading up my page. Hold on. Oh, guys, my internet's slow for some reason. All right. All right. Here we go. All right. Here we go. All right. Now let's see. Hayner was improving. Yeah, Hayner was definitely improving. All right, now let's talk about what we learned from the Saints Cardinals game. Okay. Hold on, let me see. Is this just a Cardinals thing? Is this just a Cardinals thing? Because I'm not trying to just talk about the Cardinals. Oh my god. All right, that's just a Cardinals thing. Never mind. I'm not just trying to like look. This is a Saints show, basically. This one in particular is just a Saints show. All right. All right. Now let's talk about some key takeaways from Saints preseason trial. All right. The Saints got their 2024 off to a pretty good start, even if it was preseason action, as they were able to put together a game-winning drive to knock off the Cardinals 16-14. Here it says 16-13, but the score is 16-14. New Orleans obviously has plenty of improvements that need to be made, but their first outing gave us plenty to talk about and break down. Here's a few things that stood out from their win. What we learned from the first Saints preseason game. The first team offense needs work. All right, it was a bit disappointing seeing the first team Saints offense in action. Part of this could be trying to get used to things under Clint Kubiak, but it was just inconsistent. There were some things we saw that were encouraging, but there's a way to go. There's a ways to go. Kubiak was calling plays from inside the booth during the game. It will come together, but it might just take a little more time. Starting defense looked strong. Carl Granderson looked like Carl Granderson. Brian Brees put out some good stuff. Willie Gay Jr. was all over the field, and Chase Young made a nice first impression. It's consistent with what we've seen in training camp. New Orleans needs their defense to be a contender this season. And the first sample size was good. We'll see if we can get the same results against the 49ers. Both backup quarterbacks impress. Both Jake Haener and Spencer Rattler had pretty good outings, with Haener leading 2 field goal drives and finishing 9 of 13 for 107 yards, while Rattler went 9 of 17 for 70 yards and led a touchdown drive and the game-winning drive. Rattler's first drive was impressive, but things came down to earth up until the final drive. Haener's throw to A.T. Perry at the end of the half was one of the best highlights of the evening. That back shoulder connection from Rattler to Samson Nakua on the last drive was really solid too. We may not have a definite answer. My fault. We may not have a definite answer on who will back up Derek Carr still, but it's good to see both have their moments. A.T. Perry has a night. If there was one Saints player who really benefited from Saturday night's game, it was A.T. Perry. He caught all 4 of his targets for 85 yards, including a 58-yard hookup from Jake Haener at the end of the half to help set up a field goal. Perry's camp has been inconsistent, but he put together a good performance to remind everyone of what he can be. Other Saints notes. Charlie Smythe ended up getting a game ball for making the game-winning kick. Dennis Allen said he would have kicked it from 60, and Smythe has the leg for it. He made one from 66 in warm-ups. Fred McCaffrey, who was the vice president of player engagement, put on some U2 in the locker room in honor of his kick before the real big party started. The locker room was really hyped up. Jake Haener showed a couple of us a picture from his surgery with a 2-centimeter hole in his face. He had to get 32 stitches and wasn't going to miss the game. He wasn't supposed to practice this week. Everything we were told regarding his procedure is positive news, and there's no nerve damage. I was encouraged by what we saw out of Felice Fuaga, but the inconsistency with Trevor Penning is unsettling. The Saints have to get this spot right as well as left guard. The team came out relatively okay on the injury front, but there's a few players we'll want to keep some tabs on, like Dalen Holker, Nico Lallos, and Isaiah Stallbird. When we take attendance on Sunday for day 14 of training camp, we'll be watching. Yeah, so that's basically the stuff from. Yeah. Anyways, let's see if there's anything else. Yeah, those are the key takeaways. Rookie QB Spencer Rattler leads winning drive in fourth quarter. Saints top the Cardinals 16-14. Yeah, New Orleans rookie Spencer Rattler led the winning drive in the final minute, providing a spark in his bid to become the team's backup quarterback this season. And the Saints beat the Arizona Cardinals 16-14 in preseason action Saturday night. Rattler, a fifth-round selection out of South Carolina, spearheaded a 12-play, 56-yard drive in the final 2 minutes, capped by a 37-yard field goal from Charlie Smythe with 5 seconds left. We had zero issues with operation. Operations went super smooth, Rattler said. We could have had better execution here and there. That is what first games are for, to work those kinks out. First live game, I was happy to go in there and play ball, put my foot on the gas, and come out with the win. The Saints are trying to decide on a backup quarterback behind Derek Carr, and it's a duel between Rattler and second-year player Jake Haener. Haener played most of the first half, completing 9 of 13 passes for 107 yards. His big moment came near the end of the second quarter when he connected with A.T. Perry on a 58-yard pass down the sideline, which set up a field goal. Perry finished with a team-high 85 yards receiving. Rattler had a 4-yard touchdown run in the third quarter, giving the Saints a 13-7 lead. A star at Pinnacle High School in Phoenix before going on to Oklahoma and South Carolina. He was 9 of 17 for 70 yards. I thought he executed with poise, Saints coach Dennis Allen said. I thought he made some plays. I thought he was able to create with his feet, and things didn't go exactly how you wanted it to. So I thought he did a good job. Rattler's mom is a second-grade teacher in the Phoenix area and brought some of her students out to the game, along with friends and family. Saints rookie left tackle Felice Fuaga started and played a decent chunk of the first half. He was selected with the number 14 overall pick out of Oregon State. The Cardinals sat most of their starters with a few exceptions, including number 4 overall pick Marvin Harrison Jr. That's weird. I thought he was going to play. The former Ohio State receiver, who was the first non-quarterback selected in the draft, played 1 series and didn't catch a pass. So he did play. Arizona starting quarterback Kyler Murray didn't play as expected. Coach Jonathan Gannon said he wanted to use the preseason to evaluate backup quarterbacks Desmond Ridder and Clayton Tune, who are fighting for the number 2 spot. If what I saw last night, I think Clayton Tune will get the number 2 spot over Ridder. That's just me. Ridder started 13 games for Atlanta last season before the Cardinals added him in an offseason trade that sent receiver Rondale Moore to the Falcons. And no offense, but also to the injury tent. Ridder played the first half, completing 4 of 9 passes for 43 yards, while also carrying the ball 5 times for 39 yards. He didn't get great protection from the offensive line, which curbed his production. You'd like to get some first downs, but that's just not on the quarterback. That's everybody, Gannon said. He's not blocking for himself, and he's not running routes for himself. So I think as a whole, we need to do better. Tune topped Ridder's passing output on the first drive of the second half, leading a 9-play, 70-yard drive that ended with Michael Carter's 11-yard touchdown run. The second-year quarterback 4 of 5 passes of 54 yards during the drive. Tune finished 15 of 24 for 163 yards and a 10-yard pass with 155 left in the fourth. I felt more comfortable seeing the defense and was confident in the game plan. Tune said, I was seeing, okay, this is just New Orleans played more of its starters than in Arizona, but most weren't in the game for long. Carr completed 2 of 6 passes for 12 yards. Alvin Kamara had 2 carries for 3 yards, and Chris Olave made 1 catch for 10 yards. It was a slow offensive start for both teams. The Saints led 6-0 at halftime after 2 field goals from Blake Grupe, one from 26 yards and the other from 33. Arizona had the edge in total yards, leading 328 to 286. But yeah, Rattler led that game-winning drive, man. Anyways, all right, Spencer Rattler, Engineers, a late-game comeback as Saints win preseason opener. They're from Glendale, Arizona. In their first look at rookie quarterback Spencer Rattler, the New Orleans Saints got to see what he looked like in a pressure situation. Rattler delivered. He drove the Saints 56 yards in 1 minute 42 seconds, completing 6 of his first 8 passes on the drive to move the Saints into field goal range. Charlie Smythe, an Irishman playing in his first football game of any kind, drilled the go-ahead field goal from 37 yards out with 5 seconds remaining to give the Saints a 16-14 win in their preseason opener. The late-game heroics were made necessary by a former Saints running back. Tony Jones Jr., who has played 18 of his 25 career games in a Saints uniform, caught a 10-yard touchdown pass from Clayton Tune with 1:55 remaining to give Arizona a 14-13 lead. The touchdown capped an 11-play, 76-yard drive. That set the stage for Rattler, who took over with 1:50 remaining at his own 25-yard line. He completed each of his first 4 pass attempts for gains of 13, 7, 1, and 6 yards. The rookie finished 9 of 17 for 70 yards and a rushing touchdown. Rattler took the field to start the second half, trailing 7-6 after the Cardinals scored a touchdown on the opening drive of the third quarter. His first pass attempt in the Saints uniform was a deep shot for A.T. Perry that fell incomplete, but drew a 34-yard pass interference penalty. 6 plays later, Rattler evaded the rush and scrambled for a 4-yard touchdown run, a play that was initially ruled down at the 1 but called a touchdown after replay review. It was the Saints' only touchdown on the evening. The Cardinals played without starting quarterback Kyler Murray, churning the former Atlanta Falcons signal caller, Desmond Ridder. The Saints shut Ridder and the Arizona offense out in the first half, forcing 3 points and 2 turnovers on downs. New Orleans played its starters on both sides of the ball, at least the ones who were healthy enough to suit up. The first-team offense and first-team defense each got a couple series before yielding to the backups. Here are some key takeaways from the preseason opener. First-team offense struggles. The good thing is the game doesn't count for anything, but the first look at new offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak's offense didn't inspire much optimism. First, the necessary caveats. The first-team offense was only on the field for 9 plays, so it's a very small sample size. And the Saints did not put together a traditional game plan for the Cardinals' defense, running a stripped-down version of their offense. This is not necessarily indicative of what will follow. That being said, anyone hoping for a shot of adrenaline came away disappointed. Derek Carr completed just 2 of his 6 passes and missed an opportunity for a big play downfield when his pass for Chris Olave fell well off target. Carr also spiked the throw on a well-diagnosed screen pass and had another batted down at the line of scrimmage. The first-team unit was on the field for 2 series. It converted 1 first down on its opening drive and went 3 and out on its second drive. Play of the day. Jay Kaner couldn't get the second-team offense into the end zone, but he was responsible for the most explosive play of the day. With 22 seconds left in the first half and the Saints with possession at their own 21-yard line, Hainer stepped up into a clean pocket and launched a bomb deep down the left sideline for A.T. Perry, who had gotten several yards behind rookie corner Elijah Jones' coverage. Hainer's pass hit Perry in stride, and the big receiver hauled it in for a 58-yard gain that set the Saints up for a field goal at the end of the half. The explosive play powered a big day for Perry, who finished with 4 catches for a game-high 85 yards. Pass rush stock up. Throughout training camp practices, the Saints' pass rush has consistently made life tough on the quarterback. It wasn't clear whether that was a product of the team's own offensive line, more on that later, or if it was a sign of things to come. Saturday's game offered some evidence in favor of the latter. The Saints sacked Arizona quarterback 4 times in Saturday's game. Carl Granderson and Nathan Shepard shared one. Kalike Hudson and Jack Heflin shared another. And Brian Brees and Nico Lellis pulled down a solo sack. Mixed bag with flags. After putting together a rough 2023 season and bringing in 3 new starters, because we replaced James Hurst, Andres Pete, and Ryan Ramczyk with Trevor Penning, Talise Fuaga, and other dude. Yeah. The Saints offensive line is under a new microscope. The first preseason game probably won't change that. There were some good things in the group's first chance working together with the new scheme. Neither the first nor the second team offensive line allowed a sack, and they opened up a few decent running lanes. But on the whole, it was not where it needed to be, particularly when it came to the penalties. The Saints committed 9 penalties, and 5 were called on the offensive line for either holding or false start. So only 5? I thought it was like 7. Headley steps up. Lou Headley did have a good day punting. Lou Headley is in a heated training camp competition with undrafted rookie Matthew Hayball for the starting punter job. He handled punting duties in the first half and was busy while the Saints' offense scuffled. While New Orleans would have probably preferred if he didn't punt at all, Headley delivered a fine performance. He averaged 46.8 yards per punt, 41.8 net, and landed 3 punts inside the 20-yard line. Yeah, man, Lou Headley played a pretty good game punting the ball. I know it's hard to say when a punter does well, but hey, that man. Look, he was terrible last season, but he had 3 punts inside the 20-yard line. So that means something. And he was playing pretty well too. He was playing pretty well, man. Anyways, that's all I got for y'all folks. Thanks to let me read these names. All right. Thanks to Flammy, Jerry G, and PM for coming out to the stream. Like, subscribe, share, turn the bell so don't miss another upload. I will be back live tomorrow night, and I will also be streaming the Saints 49ers game next Sunday and any other thing I want to do. So, like, subscribe, share, turn the bell so you don't miss another upload, and who that, and don't be a Falcons fan.